So welcome to Beards and Baseball. I had a pretty sweet beard. We love talking about baseball. And today we got a little bit of a special edition because you're not going to see the trees behind me. I'm actually in my house because something just happened that I want to get out to you as soon as possible. That we just ended the first ever wild card playoff game in the MLB. And we see the Braves actually sent home by the Cardinals. But that's not the story that you're going to hear. You're also not going to hear about why the Braves lost and the fact that they had 3 errors in the field, and it was really their fault defensively for the reason of the loss. They gave up 6 hits and 6 runs. That's not a winning equation for success. But the story that you're going to hear about is actually the Infield Fly Rule and the controversial call that happened in the 8th inning that potentially cost the Braves some runs and actually resulted in a 19-minute delay because fans threw so many bottles and cans and trash onto the field in revolt, if you will, against the call. And so while we here at Beards and Baseball don't have the actual rights to show you the call, you've been able to see some of the pictures of the play. There's a GIF, the actual motion picture of the play. And I'm going to point you to some of the links so that you can know all the places that you can find out about this story. Because it's everywhere. I remember when it happened, I looked on Twitter and it was like someone popular just died. It blew up with this story and everyone's talking about it. But the main thing that bothers me is that, yes, I'm a Braves fan, but the primary thing is that they even have on ESPN old umpires, former MLB umpires, coming on and explaining the call. And the reason why he said it was the right call is because an infield fly rule can be made by an infielder or an outfielder. And so both of them were there, and they had an easy time making the catch, which is designated reason for actually making the call. But that's not the rule. The rule is it can be any position on the field as long as they line up in the infield. That's how it can be an infield fly rule. But Matt Holliday, the left fielder for the Cardinals, was in left field. And even Cosma, the shortstop for the Cardinals, at the time the play was made, was in left field. So, infield fly rule? No. But go ahead and cover yourself, MLB. Make it look like you have covered the play and you're good to go because it was a bad one. It was an egregious one, and it was maybe one of the worst in the history of baseball. At least tonight, that's how it seems. Maybe in a few days this will blow over and no one will remember. But anyways, if you want to know more about it, here's the links to it. You can look underneath this video and find them in the description. Hopefully you've enjoyed the pictures, and come back to Beards and Baseball for more of your one-stop place to find all the resources that's happening here in baseball.